learn Japanese or start to take dating serious? Okay, I'll be honest, I never wanted to learn Japanese. But I think I have no choice now, don't I? Like, I'm struggling well enough with Korean, because the Korean writing system is a whole lot easier than Japanese one. But I'm already struggling well enough, so I don't really want to add Japanese on top of that, but if I really have to choose, I think I have no choice anymore. Hello BabyQueers and welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing some aroacememes again, because why the hell not? Just why not? By the way, I have an arrow flag and an ace flag, neither of which are pressed out. They're super wrinkly, so we're just gonna have to deal without the flags. So anyways, you know the deal though. Before we continue with the memes, y'all gotta get hydrated. So grab some water or some tea or whatever else you like to drink, and then we'll continue. Are you hydrated? Good. Let's go. Aces, arrows, thinking the Alows were joking when they described their attraction. But I keep thinking that. And like, I know they're not. Like, I know people experience attraction differently than me. So I can almost understand why they think we're like faking it or just like using it as an excuse because we're not interested in this specific person. I can almost understand it. But like, before being judgy to other people, maybe consider that they're different. But still, my initial reaction is still, that sounds so fake. What are you talking about? Because when I make jokes about like someone, it's like, oh, he looks so good right now, I would let him do stuff to me. I'm saying that half joking because I know it'll never happen, right? Like if I'm talking with a friend about a K-pop idol and we're joking around, I'm saying it as a joke. Because I'm safe from it ever actually happening, because I'm never gonna meet this person, I'm never gonna be in the situation where I would even need to think about if I actually want to do things. So I can joke about it. But y'all aren't joking. And it always takes me a while to actually recognize that. I feel a sensation in my body. Is this platonic love? Oh, wait, nope, I'm just shedding my skin. Listen, as someone who has trouble telling feelings apart, like I can't tell if my stomach hurts because I'm hungry or because I'm like sore from working out. So, you did not need to call me out like this. I would say I don't appreciate it, but I put myself through this willingly, so I guess I can't complain. But seriously, platonic love is still the greatest feeling, really. Like, there's a lot of different types of love, right? Like, you can love your hobbies, you can love songs, you can love nature, you can love your pets, obviously. And all of those are great and nice, but I don't know if it's just because I didn't experience it too much so far. But it's like being around a friend and just like looking at them basically with hard eyes, but like in platonic hard eyes kind of way. Because you just recognize how much this person means to you is still one of the best feelings. So I'm sorry you're just shedding your skin and not experiencing that, actually. When romance randomly appears in a great movie, why though? Why does it have to be everywhere? Like, that's the thing. I keep being confused by this, because are Alows actually that constantly thinking about romance and adult activities? Like, are they actually thinking about it that much that it needs to be in every single movie and basically needs to at least be part of the main plot at all times in any movie or in any series? Like, are y'all that obsessed with it, or do you just not have the creativity to think of something else to base your movies and your TV shows on, or your books about? Like, it confuses me, because even if a movie is going great, like, it has a great plot, but then you still have to, like, throw it in there, and then, like, usually, like, a male and female character just, like, look at each other from across the room, and you're just like, no. Not this again. Why? You could have just, like, not did that. You know? Which is why I refuse to watch romantic comedies, because it's already everywhere. I'm not gonna put myself through a movie where that is literally the entire plot. Just no. Aroace rap in this 1950 song? He's Such a Gentleman by Doris Day. I know this is not meant to be an Aroace reference, but it's kind of funny and sad how the girl in the song thinks that the boy she likes is stupid because he doesn't want to engage in any sexual or romantic activity with her. I mean, relatable. Generally, it seems relatable, sure, but it's kind of weird. Like, maybe he's really just not into you. Like, they're allowed to have preferences. Like, whoever you're interested in, of course, it's gonna, like, hurt a bit to be rejected, but it seems kind of weird to be this pressed about me. Like, no, he must be stupid, right? He must be so dumb that he doesn't want to date me. Like, that in and of itself already seems wildly weird. And I feel like, especially to Aroace people, it's gonna feel worse because you've probably had that thrown in your face when, like, someone asked you out and you turned them down because you're not interested. And then they want to pull the pity card or just say you're weird. Be like, what? But why don't you want to? Like, because. Chill out, y'all. It's not that serious if someone doesn't like you back. I don't care what their orientation is. You know, like, even if they are technically into the gender you are, they don't have to be interested in you. They don't have to be willing to date at that moment. They don't have to be willing to do anything. Like, maybe it sucks if you have a crush on them, but move on. Like, it was obviously not meant to be if the other person's not interested. Why are you so... Why? Then there was so much of this bingo on the subreddit. I have not filled it out yet, but I think I will. I'm just gonna put it on screen first. If y'all want to, like, fill it out for funsies, you can, like, leave it in the comment if you actually got a bingo. I'm gonna fill it out. I just let you know via text, because if I do this now, I'm gonna be here a while. So I'll do this while editing. I'll let you know if I get a bingo. I'm going to find love. Someone who cares about me either way, despite being Aroace. Despite being Aroace, did you just come to this realization that you are? Because QPRs are a thing, and to be fair, it's kind of difficult to find it. Like, it can be difficult if you're trying to actually find the one only in, like, sort of platonic and not as a traditional relationship that people picture. Like, it made the whole thing more difficult. Like, dating is already difficult. We are making it extra hard for ourselves. Not by choice, really, but we chose to do it the hard way, right? Something while we were being generated just was like, you know what, we're gonna mess with you a bit. But that doesn't mean it's not worth it. And that doesn't mean you shouldn't look for it if you want to. It can literally look like anything. Like, maybe you want to, like, live with a group of your friends. Maybe you want to live with, like, one person. Maybe, you know, like, it literally doesn't matter. And it also doesn't matter what other people say about it or think about it. Like, if someone else thinks it's weird, that's kind of a them problem. If it works for you and the person you're in this relationship with, whatever that relationship looks like, it only has to work for you two, or your group of people, really. So, screw other people, and good luck finding your true love, whatever that looks like. My mom. One day, you're gonna be married and have kids. My Aroace ass. Are you sure, though? It's kind of giving the same vibes of, oh, I hope your kids are as awful to you as you were to me, because there's this whole trend, apparently, of people just being like, well, my kid is exactly like me, and it's not an issue at all, but that's beside the point, because literally, even if someone isn't Aroace, going around just constantly expecting the same model of adulting to work for everyone, like, expect everyone to fall in love and get married and have kids, is so weird. It's so weird to me. Like, there are entirely too many people. How do you think one thing, I don't care which thing it is, how do you expect one thing to work for everyone? That still seems wild to me, to be that upset when people live their life differently than the one model that you have in your head. Like, how do you even expect that to work? Like, how did you get so hung up on it that you get mad when people don't do the thing? People confuse me. When a girl finds out you're aroace and is attracted to you like a forbidden fruit, just sitting there awkwardly like, again? Maybe just move on, right? Like, some aroace people still want to date, some aroace people still want sexual relationships. Okay, but if they've, like, made it clear that they're really not interested in anything, and they're just, like, awkwardly sitting there because you're kind of throwing themselves, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I mean, kind of asking and inquiring about what type of aroace they are, kind of okay, right? Like, if they want to share that with you, and if they're like, yeah, no, let's figure out if we can make anything work between us, like any kind of relationship, fine. But if they very clearly expressed that they don't want to do anything, stop throwing yourself at them. What are you doing? Me at the LGBT meetup be like, be nice to me, I'm aroace. I mean, be nice to people in general, right? Like, I'm nice to people. If they then clearly show that they don't deserve me being nice to them, sure. But be nice to people. Like, especially in queer communities, shouldn't we be supporting each other? You know, like, it doesn't matter if you understand what it's like to be aroace if you're not. Because I kind of get the feeling that if you're not that, you maybe can't understand it that well. But that doesn't mean you can't be chill and accept that people are different and support people being different and support people with how they feel comfortable living their life. You know, so I hope that hat wasn't necessary. Life after accepting that love is not for me. Peaceful. Just very peaceful. Like, honestly, there's like a lot of stigma around choosing not to date, really, but if you know that's not for you, it's not really much of a choice. You can just, like, choose to put yourself through something that isn't you, or you can accept who you are and accept what your likes are and how living life for you is comfortable and what feels authentic for you, and just go from there. And that's, like, easier said than done, I know, but still there's literally an odd sense of peace of realizing what works for you and what doesn't. STD ads, all big and scary. People who never get laid, like, why? It's giving the same vibes of me getting, like, ads for pregnancy tests or for baby formula. I'm like, it's like, I cannot get pregnant. I cannot get anyone else pregnant. I don't want children. I don't want to adopt babies. I don't need a pregnancy test. What are you giving me these ads for? And just by me talking about it now, I'm gonna be watching YouTube later or tomorrow and just get pregnancy ads, or, like, you know, like the pregnancy vitamins or whatever. I'm gonna get so many weird ads just because I talked about it now. But it's giving those vibes of just wrong target audience. Like, maybe you never get laid but want to. Maybe you really don't want to. But then getting these ads is just kind of hilarious. Me, a simple asexual, just trying to live my life. Society's obsession with sex. That's the thing. I don't know if this phase passes of just, like, being very hyper aware how much people talk about it and how much it's in, like, every movie, or being, like, hinted at in every movie and every show, or in every book and every, like, everything, right? You can just, like, be walking past the street and hear people having a conversation as they walk past you about it. I don't know if that, like, hyper awareness of it goes away at some point. I'm really hoping it does. For me personally, it's like some days I'm, like, vaguely okay with it. Like, I don't get it. And I might still think it's a bit strange because that's just, like, far from my own experience. Some days it's just plain annoying and frustrating. Because people keep making comments as if They, like, people at work, for example, they don't know I'm, like, aroace. So they keep making, like, jokes about it, really, when it comes up, and it comes up kind of a lot. It's kind of weird, actually, yeah. It actually feels a lot like this picture. Me on my throne of singleness, watching everyone else in their toxic relationships. Honestly, I don't like getting involved in other people's relationship. Like, if you post about it publicly on the internet and people make memes about it, I will comment on it, sure. But also, it's very, like, difficult to tell what someone's relationship is actually like from, like, one picture or one video or one meme. But still, it doesn't really feel like this for me. Like, I'm not sitting back and like, couldn't be me, right? Like, but I don't know if we just have a more neutral perspective on it, because a lot of us don't want to date at all, and that's why we can, like, see it more neutral without having the, oh, but it's so nice to be dating at all, you know, like, stuck in the back of our minds. So I can kind of get it, but I probably don't look this smug. How to get a hot date. 1. Get a date. 2. Heat it up. 3. There you go. Hot date. Alternatively, you can put them in the oven. Or, like, cook them in some water. Or heat them up in a pan with a little bit of coconut oil or something. A lot of options to get a hot date that don't involve talking to people, or especially talking to new people. So, there you go. Hope this was helpful. People be like, ass or tits? Dog, all I want is the Serenity frog. I did not know that this is what I wanted, but I love frogs. I'm not, like, super obsessed with frogs, but frogs are super cute, and this statue is, like, he looks really chunky and really cute. So it is fair to choose this over any like, physical attributes of humans. Come on. Wait, the Frig is an aspect, some sort of ancient freaking civilization? Someone on the aroace spectrum. It's not bad to be opening to learning new things. We absolutely are. 18 million people scattered across the world. When the time is right, we will erupt forth to retake our ancient Danish homelands. Oh, we're still on that agenda, right? Or actually, this was posted 10 months ago. When the whole we're gonna conquer Denmark thing was around for quite a while. Do we need to bring it back? Are the Danish people feeling too safe at the moment? Do we need to bring it back? I think we might need to, actually, yeah. But also this art at the top, I mean, this frog looks super good. Like, I can't draw to save my life. It looks like I'm, like, 5 years old. But this frog looks so good. He looks so cute. And also, the other art is also just really cute. And this book, by the way, I always get, like, vaguely sad when I finish a book I liked, because it's like, oh, it's over now, right? I can't keep reading it, and I liked it. But I was never as sad as when I finished this book. And I will be reading it again. At some point. Not right now, I literally just finished it, like, 2 months ago. But I will definitely be reading it again, because I have to. It made me cringe so much, because it was just, like, calling me out a lot of, like, thought processes of, like, going through the realization that your error is and just, like, trying to ignore it away, and then just, like, coming to accept it and just, like, trying to find your place in the world. And it's just, it was calling me out, but it was so well written and I loved it. So if you haven't read it and you think you might be aroace, please read it. It's really good. Worry about coming out to my parents. Panic. They're fine with gay, lesbian, and bi people. Calm. They're only fine with gay, lesbian, and bi people. Panic. Yeah, I feel like that part of the community, of the queer community, is kind of easiest to understand for a lot of people, really. I think the person who posted this meme is also trans, and that's already, like, harder to accept for people. Somehow, I still don't get why people care so much. Like, what do I care? What gender you identify as? What do I care if the gender is different? than the one you were assigned. Like, what do I care, really? In the best way possible, of course. Like, if you be like, hey, can you please call me these pronouns from now on because they better match how I feel about my own gender? Sure, yeah, absolutely. But what do I care, really? Because if I met you as a John, and then you come to me and be like, actually, I'm a girl. I'm Monique now. Okay, cool. Like why I still have a hard time understanding why it's difficult for people to understand. But again, about aroace people, I feel like people get really confused because they really just cannot understand it, but it doesn't justify being hateful at all, really. Imagine listening to a love song and no one comes to your mind. That's the final stage of being completely single. Or completely aroace. Like, I guess it's a good sign to show you that you've moved on from a person you used to date. I'm not sure I can do that, because like even normal songs that aren't love songs remind me of people. But I guess it's different. Somehow, I think. Like, the fact that when I broke up with someone, I like immediately moved on should have probably told me a lot, even after my first relationship when I was like 15. Right, like I should have known. The fact that I was just like annoyed and glad it was over should have told me a lot. But anyways, I guess a lot of us are completely single. Confusion, my own fear of judgment, trying to bully me. Wait, who are you? aroacememes. Saving the day. Memes always save the day, okay? Like, it seems so ridiculous how, like, funny little pictures can actually help you that much. But honestly, it does build a sense of community, because it's like realizing you're not the only one having these types of feelings or going through something, because you will find people who are going through the same thing, who are having like similar realizations as you are. And honestly, if you don't have people in your life that get it, or people that you can even talk to about it, then having an online community, even if they post funny little pictures of frogs and garlic bread, still, it can honestly help a lot. Spotted in the wild, Dimmable Lights, but apparently they're aroace? Listen, if you weren't already gonna get this, you might have to now. Like, honestly, like, if I had to choose, like, if I was out looking for Dimmable Lights, and I had to choose between this and a different one, I would pick this one just because of the flag, really. If I wasn't looking for Dimmable Lights, I would just laugh about it and send, like, someone a picture and be like, lol, I need to get these lights as a joke. But if I had to choose between Dimmable Lights, I would definitely choose this one. What is something you truly want from life right now? A QPR, a queer platonic relationship. Wait, who the hell downvoted that? Let's go upvote bomb her comment to cancel it out. Okay, even if you don't understand it, even if you've never heard of a queer platonic relationship, or even if you don't ever want to have one, if you want very like a clear-cut romantic and sexual relationship and like platonic friends. Okay. If that's what you want, if that's what works for you, go ahead, but why are you being so weird about it? Like, oh, you want something different? You want to live your life differently? No, that's bad. What is wrong with people? I did not think I was gonna get that mad today, but I was already mad today, so I think this is not helping right now, that people are this needlessly judgy. Because for why? Why did you do this? Why? If you don't get it, or if you don't even know what it is, then either scroll past if you don't care at all, or Google, but why are you gonna just be weird and downvote it for no reason other than pettiness, really? What are you doing? Anyways, before we get more mad at people who don't get it, and by we, I probably only mean me, because I'm hoping you're not mad, I'm gonna leave it here. I just realized I did not actually have garlic bread memes. But I do have garlic bread in my fridge, which also seems to track really. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed the memes. I hope you did not get mad, and I hope you're hydrated. If not, maybe go drink something now, you know, and I'll be back in a few days with my next video.